Hi, my name is Dr. Emily Block, and in this video, we'll talk about the roadblocks to integrative negotiations. In my previous videos, we've discussed benefits and strategies for an integrative approach to negotiation. Have you tried some of these strategies in your own life and work? Has it resulted in better solutions and stronger relationships? Even when we try to engage in integrative strategies, we sometimes fall back, or get dragged back, into our distributive patterns. Understanding when and why these roadblocks to integrative negotiations can pop up can help us anticipate, diffuse, or bypass them altogether. There are 5 types of integrative roadblocks. In this video, we'll focus on the first 4: preparation, communication, social image, and timing. The last roadblock, cognitive biases, is a huge topic, so we'll leave that for another video. The first integrative roadblock is lack of preparation. How well you prepare for a negotiation largely determines your success or failure. When I worked with the Army, people talked about the 6 Ps all the time. Was it some type of special Army equipment? When I finally asked my friend Mark about it, he told me that the 6 Ps were the most foundational motto for his soldiers. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. Even for uncertain situations that are totally out of your control, how you prepare is likely to determine the outcome. When you're going into battle, you need to be prepared for anything the enemy might throw at you. Now, I'm not suggesting that your negotiation partner is your enemy, but just like the battlefield, the outcome is largely determined before a single shot is fired, or in this case, before any word is said. Many students who take my class are confident in their natural ability to negotiate and confident that their skill will be enough to approach any problem. I know everybody says prepare, but it's actually the most important thing you can do. When an important negotiation is looming, winging it is almost never the answer. To prepare for a negotiation, I use my negotiation checklist. I've developed my negotiation checklist over years of experience with formal and informal negotiations. I use it all the time, even for the simplest negotiations and in both my professional and my personal life. To create your own checklist, check out my video where I specifically focus on sharing my checklist with you. One final word on preparation: don't allow others to prepare for you. Know what you want out of the negotiation. Don't rely upon what the other party wants. A little bit of thinking in advance will have huge benefits. The second integrative roadblock is communication. Communication depends on the formality or informality of the negotiation. More formal negotiations have rules that are specific and detailed, which makes communication less of a potential roadblock. For example, you walk into a meeting and everybody has the agenda. They're all on the same page. In more informal settings, however, when fewer rules are determined in advance, there's a greater chance for miscommunication as negotiators work through the rules during the negotiation itself. For example, are prices even negotiable in this market? And remember, communication isn't just talking. It's also about being understood. It's a two-way exchange of information. To improve communication and negotiation, engage in active listening. Paraphrase the sender's message in your own words. This allows you to identify any miscommunications right when they happen. Also, ask a lot of questions. Not only can this generate information, but it can help you build a relationship and get to people's underlying interests. Remember the 5 whys? Finally, pay attention to the nonverbal ways that you may be communicating. We tend to place a great deal of weight on nonverbal cues that we receive, and we are often unaware of the cues that we're sending. I was once told that I looked really angry when presenting because of my tendency to cross my arms. Facial expressions and eye contact also contain valuable information during a negotiation. Nonverbal cues come from your facial expressions, your eye contact, your hand gestures, your posture. You can communicate through your behavior, such as arriving on time or being late, respecting or disrespecting the other party's personal space. Another integrative roadblock is social image. This refers to saving face in a negotiation. To save face means simply to maintain one's dignity. Conversely, to lose face would mean to be humiliated or to lose one's reputation. Some people are more sensitive to this than others. However, We are all, to some degree, looking to protect our self-image and reputation, or worried about looking silly or incompetent in public. Understanding how face-saving or preserving social image can manifest in negotiations can help avoid an impasse and improve communication. Anytime you say to someone, "That was a great idea, but have you considered?" instead of, "That's stupid," you're helping somebody save face. Anytime you say, "Can I get back to you on that?" instead of an outright, "No way," just to buy time and avoid rejecting someone, you're trying to help them save face. Anytime you see someone with spinach in their teeth, but don't tell them, you're trying not to embarrass them, which is a way to help people save face, even though I would be much more embarrassed if you would let me keep talking with spinach in my teeth. And it's not just about being embarrassed. When people feel like their self-worth is threatened, they do crazy things. They can retaliate, shut down, and overall be less integrative. They may be even willing to take losses for themselves in order to save face. So how do we help people save face in a negotiation? First, avoid making it personal. That starts with separating the people from the problem, but can be reinforced with language. Simple tweaks like using we rather than you can make a huge difference. For example, I just had a conversation with my partner about his habit of leaving the lights on. But instead of saying, "Would you please stop leaving the lights on?" I said, "Hey, I'd really like for us to both make an effort to save energy and try and turn the lights off, even though I never leave the lights on." The second is just so much nicer. But it's also not just pointing out his failure to turn off the lights, but rather us making a joint commitment to it. Depersonalizing can also involve directing criticism at the business issues and not at the competence of the other person. Try to blame mistakes or discrepancies on third parties, other people who aren't with the organization, or just luck. Another technique is to blame differences on policies, procedures, or systems that neither of you can control. These bad guys serve to direct responsibility away from the person and toward non-threatening channels. Here are some phrases that can help reduce tension. Obviously, this can be interpreted in different ways. Here's some information that you probably didn't have access to. The difference between our points of view is really not large. However, we need to consider, etc. By allowing people a way to maintain their dignity and save face, you can keep a negotiation on track. The fourth roadblock to integrative negotiations is timing. Timing refers to how quickly or slowly a negotiation progresses. I suggest that at the outset of a negotiation, the parties set a realistic but ambitious deadline to keep them on track. Sometimes negotiations get drawn out for no real reason, which reduces the efficiency and increases the frustration. Negotiators often worry that they'll concede too much as the clock runs down, but remember, the other side is equally affected by the deadline. In fact, deadlines can encourage concessions and creative thinking from both sides. If working against a clock is not feasible in a particular negotiation, take a break and come back to it later. It may sound counterintuitive, but adjourning negotiations until the following day, week, or even longer may assist you in closing a negotiation faster. Taking a break gives you time and space to unwind from the often tense and stressful atmosphere. It also allows you to recap with your team what you've accomplished and how far you have to go. This type of review can really help you identify whether or not it's wise to keep moving toward closing a deal. It also can give the parties a chance to cool off and come back together with clearer heads. The fifth and final integrative roadblock is biases. A cognitive bias is when there's a difference between the way our brain perceives information and the way it actually is. The human mind is an amazing machine, but it has limitations. We don't always see the world as it is in reality. Biases act as blinders that shape our perceptions. They can prevent parties from reaching a rational, mutually beneficial outcome or finding integrative solutions. In fact, biases often result in escalating conflict and entrenching misunderstanding between parties in a negotiation. There are several different types of cognitive biases, which deserve their own video. Tune in to learn how to recognize these biases in your negotiation and to develop some de-biasing strategies to mitigate their impact. For now, can you think of a time when you experienced a roadblock to an integrative negotiation? Was it caused by lack of preparation, problems with communication, a desire to save face, or mismanaged timing? Thanks for watching. See you next time.